I have been talking how red states are pushing people out of their states, like professionals, women, gay folks. So I've already been touching on this, but it is interesting to read a Fox News opinion. So here is their opinion piece on the real reason for America's OB-GYN shortage. Entrenched as I am with this generation of medical students and residents, I know many who are hesitant to become OB-GYNs. Pro-choice news outlets, medical organizations, and physicians are chopping up the shortage to the Dobbs v. Jackson decision, pretending this crisis is recent or claiming new doctors really just want to end life through abortion. However, not only has this shortage been escalating, the political pressures on such doctors to embrace pro-choice life or else is driving many to other specialties. The Association of American Medical Colleges, which facilitates the medical school admissions process, has been discussing the deficit since long before the states enacted the post-Roe fetal protection laws. Reports from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services additionally show these concerns have been around for at least a decade. A 2022 report by the March of Dimes reveals that 36% of counties in the U.S. are considered maternity care deserts, meaning the demand for maternity care is greater than the supply of OB-GYNs. As this workforce shortage increases, the estimates that by 2030, there will only be 90% of the supply of OB-GYNs. Our nation's women deserve better, and to understand why this is happening, contrary to mainstream narrative, the shortage is not worsening due to restrictions in pro-life states. Students and residents who wish to pursue elective abortion have the opportunity to be educated or practice in states where fetal protection laws are not in place. Additionally, all medically necessary techniques, including treating miscarriage and ectopic pregnancy, are taught in states where elective abortion access is limited. The American Association of Pro-Life Gynecologists and Obstetricians confirms that pro-life members of the medical field support such treatments. This aspect of education has not been affected. Also, the study by the AAMC claiming a decrease in medical school senior applicants in abortion-banned states has no statistical analysis to demonstrate the conclusion. Their study does show, however, a substantial drop in MD senior OB-GYN applicants. So there have been a drop in applicants across the board is what they're basically saying. And they haven't seen any data that support that there are more applicants in pro-choice states. Still, why is there a decrease in the OB-GYN specialty as a whole? I found part of the lack of interest coming from concerns about the persecution of pro-life medical students and residents. That's it, because pro-life people are being persecuted. LOL. Being a current medical school applicant myself, who also runs the medical student programming with Students for Life of America and Future Medical Professionals for Life, I hear stories from students regularly who would rather practice a less controversial specialty for fear of persecution, or even students who have opted for another career path after completing medical school or residency. Yet, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists states that only 14% of practicing OB-GYNs provide abortions in their practice. Discriminating against anyone with a moral reservation about providing abortions, when clearly most OB-GYNs do not provide them, is a sure way to drive away new parties interested in practicing Hippocratic medicine to do no harm. One thing that AAMC does get right in their analysis of the new Dobbs v. Jackson era of medical education is that the legislature do need to consider the impact of fetal protection laws on their physician workforce. With pro-choice medical students and residents more likely to seek education in pro-choice states, and pro-life medical students being discouraged from entering the OB-GYN specialty altogether, pro-life states must do something to attract students back to their states. Pro-life students need to be welcomed into the medical profession. Legislatures in pro-life states can protect their OB-GYN force by doubling down on the conscious protections. We need pro-life states legislators to pass new and innovative pro-life medical education bills to provide adequate funding. The bottom line is that pro-life medical students and residents would be more likely to stay in desperately needed specialty if they had the assurance that they would be able to practice compassionate, life-affirming medicine from the moment they entered medical school until the moment they retired. With the long-standing shortage of OB-GYNs well documented over the past several years, with the medical education system cannot afford to discriminate against students desiring an evidence-based pro-life practice. Let's not hinder those with a heart for the Hippocratic Oath. I think this person's opinion is a bunch of BS, and I will make an analysis on the very next video. So Fox News put out an op-ed for the real reason that there is an OB-GYN shortage in America. And according to them, it's because of the persecution of pro-life medical students. That is what's impacting OB-GYNs overall. It's not because physicians are being run out of red states for being pro-choice or for attempting to save women's lives that are having medical emergencies. No, it's because of the persecution of pro-life medical students. That is the heart of this op-ed. So apparently these pro-life students can't find refuge in these pro-life states and find refuge in these pro-life states' residencies. No, they're facing discrimination and they can't practice anywhere. Okay, person from Fox. Other news outlets have other stances. OB-GYN shortage expected to get worse as medical students fear prosecution in red states. This is happening. Other students are actually saying that. A year after Roe v. Wade was overturned, the U.S. is facing a shortage of OB-GYN doctors. It's expected to get worse in the years ahead. This person, Erin Dougie, is a third-year medical student in Florida, but unless things change, she said that is not where she wants to be a doctor. These students are literally making choices based on if they're going to be pro-life or pro-choice, and that is impacting where they're going to do residencies. Pro-life places, red states, conservative places are facing a higher shortage of physicians and OB-GYNs. A quick Google search will bring this up, and all of these Google searches started basically after Roe v. Wade was overturned. States with abortion bans could drive away young doctors. Things are about to get a lot worse for red state residents. OB-GYN residency programs face tough choice on abortion training. These numbers, these articles, these things can be quantified. These people will stop doing residencies in these states with restrictive bans in place. It is easy to quantify this because you will be able to see the year-over-year drop, especially come fall. So this man can say all that he wants to say and make this a moral decision and say that it's because of these pro-life people facing these tough moral decisions. That's a bunch of BS, because they could literally go to these pro-life states and practice, because those places need these residents. So stop lying, because that is not the truth. These people are forcing out the physicians that are already in place. They're forcing out the nurses, and these people are taking years and decades worth of knowledge out of their state with them. And who's going to want to go to school in these states that are stripping away protections for women and girls? Y'all go ahead and join in the conversation and tell me what you think.